Hi ladies, Dionysia here, and I wanted to take some time out with you today to share some thoughts post-pilgrimage. So as many of you know, I've just been leading this 7-day online event, a pilgrimage into the archetypal feminine. We had 120 women on that journey with us, signed up for that journey with us, and it was amazing. It was a truly amazing experience. Many of you know that I am very, very fond of taking women on pilgrimage, actual pilgrimage in the flesh, in groups of women to sacred sites on the planet and doing ceremony there for a period of time for all kinds of things that we're excavating and finding for ourselves in that way. And also, I love it that having the online space gives us such an opportunity to have big, large groups of women together in the pilgrimage space. So we had an incredible experience. And a lot of this pilgrimage, we've been talking about fear and power and the relationship between fear and power. And that seems like a pertinent topic to bring to all of you today, coming out of, having been in that field and holding that field and then having my rest afterwards, which is always important for me after holding a group field to go into rest afterwards. But then I want to come out and share the gems that we collect by going into those deep spaces. And so I think fear and power is really a great place for us to explore together, because collectively we have all now just shifted into the sign of Scorpio. So we have had several planets in Scorpio, things happening in Scorpio even before now, but this week, just a couple of days ago, the sun shifted into the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio is a water sign that is all about the deep. And it is often where so many people can find themselves sort of thrown off into the deep end when they weren't expecting it to be or weren't looking to be. And it also is the sign where we can intentionally go in for initiatory experiences. So when we talk about the deep, what are we talking about? Deep waters, we're talking about deep feelings, we're talking about the depths of our psyche. And psyche is the realm where the archetypal feminine expresses so much. It's where so much of how she speaks to us comes through dreams, through signs, through symbols, through odd synchronicities or coincidences. And there are definitely also ways that we can get very intentional about taking initiations. So initiations often come and take us by surprise. They come when we don't want them to, and they come unbidden in our conscious mind. But we can also become very conscious about how we invite initiation, how we go towards initiatory experiences, and how we go towards exploration of the deep in our own psyche. That's one of the beauties of the sign of Scorpio. And all of us collectively, as we journey through the wheel of the zodiac every year, we can learn to embrace those cycles and learn how to work with them, or we can be in denial about them and have the initiations come without our, bidding them. But when we turn towards it intentionally and we look at it intentionally and we embrace it and we say, okay, I'm going to take each part of the energy that comes and work with it, then we find our power. And the thing about Scorpio taking us into the deep, taking us into the depths of psyche and the depths of our emotions, is that often we fear what we're going to find there. We fear so much about our power as women, and you've heard me talk about that before, that we have a long history of being afraid, right? Of being seen, of being heard, of being vocal, of having our voices come out strong, because we have such a long history of being wiped out for that, of being tortured and tormented and raped and killed for using our voices, for standing in our truth, and for speaking our truth. Well, we're in different times now. It isn't that those things aren't happening anymore, but they're not happening en masse in the ways that they used to. And in contrast to that, we have so much opportunity as women to claim our power, use our voices, speak our truth, be seen, be heard, have our heart light shining, have our soul light shining, and be of influence in our world. It's been years now since the Dalai Lama said that the world is going to be changed by Western woman. We have so much opportunity available to us every day now that women before us, even our own mothers, our grandmothers, often did not have. I saw someone recently talking about the word unprecedented and how much that word has been used to describe the antics of American politics over the past several months, and that it's time to stop giving them that word. Because the truth is, what they're doing right now actually is not unprecedented. There's great precedent. We can look through time in American history for sure, but also in world history of all kinds of patriarchs and oligarchs and those who would take power for themselves and take it all for themselves. And that's not new. In fact, that's so old that we can't really remember a time when that wasn't what was happening. And we don't see many examples on our planet in the history of politics that are different than that. So it's time for us to stop using that word to describe what they're doing right now. But we can use that word for what opportunities are available for women right now. Because we are still in the process of, and have been for some time, remembering who we were, who women were, what our places were when we were the oracles, the priestesses, the shamans, the people, the medicine women that people went to when they needed connection with the spirit world, when they needed a sense of purpose or hope or connection to love and to light. We were that. That's what we were. And many of us still are that in all kinds of realms, whether we are in, service positions or professions, or we're doing that in our own homes or in our communities in a variety of kinds of ways. So for a very, very long time now, we've been out of those positions. Or if we're in those positions, we're quieter about it. We're more hidden about it. We're not out on the world stage talking about it. But now we are in an unprecedented time for women to take our place on the world stage, to take all of our power and be full with it and be a light with it. We've not had the opportunity to be that on the planet for a very long time now. From, the witch trials to the institutionalization of so many kinds of things that are women's place, birthing, medicine, union, marriage, the institution of marriage. All of the institutionalization of those things put it all into man's world and how a man and let's say distorted masculine would do those things. But now we have so much opportunity to take all of that back. And we have a lot of support from other women as well as from men who are really, really ready to see feminine values coming forward more on the world stage. The thing is, when we go to get that power for ourselves, or when we think about moving towards that, whether that's, an actual position of power, like if we're involved in our local or state or even, national politics, or we're, the CEO of a company, or we're, up in the ranks of some sort of financial institution or corporate division. Those are, very literal positions of power, but also just being in our own power in how we be from day to day can bring up a lot of fear for us. For so many women, when we go towards what it means to be embodied in our power, fear is the thing that we meet there. When we go towards the deep, when we go towards initiatory processes, fear is the gatekeeper. It's the first thing that we meet there. So how are we going to be with that? What are we going to do with that? How are we going to move ourselves through that fear, through the initiational portal and into the passage of initiation, so that we get to the other side of it and we then have that power available to us. We have it to be able to embody it. How are we going to be doing that? Scorpio season is an awesome time to be asking those questions, because it is the nature of the Scorpionic path to do that, to go to initiation, to face the fear, to take the power, to embody the power. For us as women, we can then say we're going to be embodying feminine power, because the point here is not to take power like they do, those precedented ones, but to cultivate and take and embody power like we do, the unprecedented ones. Now we know that there was a time in history when we did have that kind of power, and we're still, like I said before, remembering it and putting it all back together, intuiting it. But we don't even have to try to be like that was. We just need to come back to the source of where they were sourcing it from, which is internal, from the womb, from our intuition, from our knowing, and from the deep well of feminine wisdom. So feminine wisdom is different than masculine wisdom. They're different traditions, they're different pathways, and they're different sets of teachings and learnings and knowings. And it's important for us as women to turn towards deep feminine wisdom teachings to learn how to recollect our power, to learn how to manage the fear and move through it when it comes, because it will come. It is the guardian at the gateway to the path. So we want to acknowledge that. We want to be okay with that. We want to learn how to move ourselves through that fear to get to the power position, to get to claim it and own it and embody it. So those are some of the things that we were talking about in this pilgrimage that I've just been leading. And I have some things coming up for you, for those of you who weren't able to join us on pilgrimage, to be able to take these journeys for yourselves too. I'm going to be in the emails to come. I'm going to be sharing with you about a new 90-minute workshop that I'm going to be putting out. And also I wanted to share with you that the gateway, the gates, the doors to the temple that is the Embody Your Feminine program are now open again for registrations. They'll be open for registrations until we start on November 11th. Right now, you can get in before it goes to full price. It goes to full price at November 1st. And all you need to do is book a call with me to have a conversation and see if this program might be a good fit for you, for where you are in your life. And I'm offering these calls out because I actually love to get to know who's in my community. I love to be in one-on-one space with you. I love to know what's on your heart, what is your stumbling block, what you feel is holding you back, and what is the desire and the need that's there for you. And the best way for me to do that is to be in those one-on-one calls with you. So I'm encouraging you to book a call with me. I'd love to get to know you a little bit more, to get to hear what's happening for you, to get to share a little time together. It's totally free. Feel free to do that. And like I said, those doors for the Embody Your Feminine program are open again, and you can click on the button below to get to see more about that program and what it offers for you, because now is our time, ladies. This is an unprecedented time for us. There is so much movement happening for how the feminine is rising in our world right now. It is our time. And it is my mission and my path and my purpose and my dharma to guide women into their power. I would love to do that with you if you're feeling called to it. There's so much available through this program for the multifaceted female, the multifaceted woman. This is not, so many of you know me from sexuality and intimacy coaching, and that is a real and deep and true root for me. But over 15 years of time of working with women around their sexuality and their intimacy and their relationships, what I began to see very clearly is that the sexuality teachings are important, and we need them, and we grow so much through them, and we know so much through them. But I kept having women ask me for more. And what I found was that women need to explore their psyche. They need to recapitulate parts of themselves that are lost. They need to tend to the maiden. Ladies, easily 95% of the women that I work with need tending the maiden. So in my 90-minute that's coming up, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking a lot about tending the maiden, and we're going to go even deeper into that for really bringing her all the way home in the Embody Your Feminine program. And we need other women. We need sisterhood so badly. And we need clean, clear, concise, precise sisterhood, not just some wibbly wobbly thing, but that we're held in a very certain kind of way and we're showing up to each other in a certain kind of way. And the Embody Your Feminine program is going to offer that to you too. So much of us is about, and there's so much we can do around our sexuality for sure. And you know me, I'm a huge advocate for that. But I also want you to get to know all of you. I want you to get to know all the parts that awaken and come alive when we do start working with our sexuality, when we do start Kundalini awakenings, because we're going to bump up to the things that are in the way of how we embody our power, how we embody our sexuality, how we embody our flow. So there's so much that I'm going to be sharing with you over the next couple of weeks about this, because there's so much in this for all of us. And now is our time. We are rising in so many numbers. I know so many more feminine embodiment coaches now than I have ever known at any point in my career. And that is thrilling for me. I want as many women to have as much contact with this as possible, and as many of us doing the work as possible, so that ultimately what we're doing is, like I said, taking our place on the world stage. We're coming out, we're showing up with feminine values of empathy and connection and touch and sexuality connected with our spirituality, with having our access to our own light, with having a nervous system that is resilient and can continue to ride these tides and these waves as we all collectively move through the huge change that is happening on our planet. So see the buttons in the email below. Like I said, I have so much coming for you, and I'm so thrilled for what is happening for all of us right now. And there is a way for us to move through this in togetherness. There is a way for us to move through this in sisterhood. There is a way for us to move through this empowered rather than disempowered, and taking the creation of a new alternate reality that has nothing to do with all of those systems that are falling. Let them fall, let them go. We are here. We came here for this. Now is our time. And I would love to be on the journey with you, ladies. So like I said, there's a lot for you in the email below. I wanted to take this time out with you to say, hey, there's a lot happening, but there's a lot of power available for us here, and we can choose to take it. We can choose to turn towards it, and we can do it together. So as always, from my heart to yours, sending you so much love. I am so excited about the times that we're in. I love to be in it with you, one-on-one, book those calls, and collectively come into the group with us. It's our time. I'm excited, as you can see, and look forward to being with you in all the ways that we can be together. So much love to you, ladies. Blessed be.